Namaste. On behalf of Saptarishis Astrology, let me welcome all the viewers yet again to our YouTube channel. Today, as we have seen in the current time when people are mad actually learning this science of astrology just to make predictions, to see that they have their name coming up in the social media, in the newspaper, in the news channels, everywhere, without actually getting into the roots or the basics to know the actual functioning. What the classicals have to say, just not the Vedic, let it be the Greek, Latin, anywhere. Today, we have someone very young and dynamic who has a very open mind towards this research of going beyond what is currently given to us in the market. We have heard about outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And the moment we hear these terms, we link them to Western astrology. But do we have something more apart from these three planets? Does the research show something else? So the question comes, do this planet play any crucial role, or do we have some more planets, as we just discussed, apart from Uranus, Neptune, Pluto? Do we have something that is beyond the Vedic and our Western astrology? We always are mesmerized by the ancient Roman, Greek and the Latin stories. And we always love to watch the movies on Thor or the Titans. But do Greeks have something to give us to astrology, which we are unaware of? Let us welcome all the young and dynamic Mr. Greenstone Lobo today here, so that he can share with us what the world does not know. Welcome, Mr. Greenstone.
Hey Rohit, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling me here. It's absolutely a pleasure of mine to be invited to Saptarishi, and I've been following all your videos and posts, and it is an amazing job that you people are doing, and I'm extremely glad to be here actually.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, and another thing, Rohit, I want to tell you is that I'm not so young. I'm 45, so that's about. I mean, so I started off about 30 years back. So maybe like I started a little young, very young, okay, in astrology. But yeah, right now I'm not that young. Yeah.
But still, you are under the half century mark, so we can consider you as young.
So, yeah, so if you consider that to be young, I'm happy. Yes.
Okay. So just on the curiosity's sake, how come you got into this field? Means what actually brought you here?
Okay, so when I was in my 8th standard, it was a rainy day, and just to kill time, I picked up a book. Okay, and this was a shiny book, a blue-colored book, and it turned out to be Linda Goodman's Sun Signs. And that is exactly where I started reading. I started, so that is, I mean, I think most people start in astrology with Linda Goodman's Sun Signs, and that is how even I started off. And very interestingly, I love that book because it said everything so well about my personality, and I'm supposed to be passionate, intense, aggressive. The Scorpion traits. That was there, very much there. But what was very interesting is that I wanted to make my chart. So I got my chart done at the age of 16. It was in 1991. When I, not 16, I was like, in 1991, I got my computerized chart done. I was very young at that time. So And to my shock, I found that my sun was in Libra. Okay, so my Mercury was in Scorpio and my moon was in Aquarius. So now I understood as to why so much importance is given in Indian astrology for the moon sign, because that moon gave me a new perspective of what I am. My moon sign is Aquarius, so I had a lot of Aquarian traits. So that is when I started off. So since 1991, I have been into this. Then I got into a journey of discovery mode. See, after a few years of being in astrology, and still, when I was doing my graduation. So when I completed my graduation, I did my graduation in chemistry, and by the time I completed my graduation, there were more horoscopes drawn in the notebook than chemical formulae. Okay, so somehow I passed my graduation, and then I got a job, and very interestingly, I got a job which involved a lot of travel, and I was posted in Madhya Pradesh, where I had to travel probably sometimes one full day to reach a destination. So that gave me a lot of time. So I used to carry all the B.V. Raman's books. And so that is what I started off with, B.V. Raman's books, like most of us started. Then I read most of the Indian astrologers that we can think of. And then, of course, I also started including Western astrologers, way of looking at things. So when certain planets, while we're explaining certain horoscopes, when I actually couldn't get an answer in the Indian way of looking at things, that is when I started looking at the Western astrologers. And when I didn't find my answers, even in the Western astrologers, that is when I started doing my own research. So I did a lot of research. Then finally, what happened? I found that all of us, all the Indian astrologers and Western astrologers have done nothing. Parashar, who lived 5,000 years before, the Rishi Muni, the great Rishi Muni, he knew everything about astrology. He, in fact, saw the planets. He saw all the outer planets. And he has even written about the outer planets. So when you go back to the shloka of Parashar, you can actually see that he has written about the outer planets. So that is when I did a lot of research, and then so I have included all these planets.
So I think that's the main reason in today's world that people actually do not read classics. So they are actually unaware of the true self of what astrology or Jyotish is.
True. In fact, I just wanted to talk about this thing. So when when you look at Parashar talks about, in certain in one shloka he says something very interesting. He says that there is we're talking about Surya, Chandra, Rahu, Ketu. Rahu and Ketu are of course, they're not planets, but then they are the mathematical points. It's Chayagara and Shani. So beyond that, he said there are planets. He said he talked about Varuna. He said Yama. Then he said Vayu. Then he also talked about Kuber and Prajapati and Indra. Correct. So he gave these names of bodies which are beyond Shani. Mm-hmm. So he talked about them 5,000 years back when there were no telescopes. And after we started using the telescopes, and then we discovered those planets, the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. The Uranus is nothing but your Varuna. Your Vayu. Because Uranus is the god of thunder, and thunder is Vayu. And if you're looking at Neptune, Neptune is nothing but your Varuna. Okay, so the Neptune is considered to be the god of the rains. It is called as a Maya, and that is exactly what is considered as Varuna in Indian astrology. That is what Parashar is talking about. And Parashar talked about Yama, and Yama is nothing but Pluto, and Pluto is considered to be the god of the underworld and the god of death in Western astrology and the Greek astrology. Right. So all of these were actually talked about by Parashar 5,000 years ago. In fact, he even talked about Prajapati and Indra and Kuber. So Kuber, of course, it's a literal translation of Kuber means a wealthy person, someone who's the richest. Mm-hmm. So this planet is the one which rules wealth, and that is exactly like what I call as a planet X. Okay. So the planet X is the true ruler of Taurus. Okay. See, if you look at and if I'm talking about the Indra and Prajapati, the Prajapati is the planet Y that I'm talking about, and Indra is the planet Z that I'm talking about. Okay, so now it's very simple. See, in Indian astrology, we use only 5 planets. Effectively, we use only 5 planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Sun and Moon are not planets. Sun and Moon are luminaries. They are stars. Right. Rahu and Ketu are again not planets. They are only mathematical points. Right. So effectively, we use only 5 planets in Indian system.
Mm.
The Western astrologers use 4 more bodies, okay, which is Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron.
Correct.
So Indian 5 planets and the Western 4 planets, the total comes out to 9 planets.
Mm-hmm.
So what it means is that, see, there are 12 zodiac signs, but we're only talking about 9 planets. So what it means is there are probably 3 planets which are missing.
Mm-hmm.
So that is exactly when I started doing my research in astrology.
Okay.
So I thought that probably there are 3 planets which we don't know, which we need to know. And I started doing my research. In fact, I have been working with a couple of scientists in NASA.
Mm-hmm.
I actually learned astronomy for the sake of learning astrology.
Oh.
I learned the way of reading the planets using, the astronomical calculations. Then I started with around 20,000 bodies. Then I came down to 200 bodies. Then I researched on more than, then I brought it down to 20. Then I researched on all of these. Then finally I arrived at those 3 bodies, which I feel are the true rulers of the zodiac sign. One is the true ruler of Taurus. The other one is the true ruler of Virgo. Okay. So these two, and then Sun and Moon, as I said, they're not planets. So Sun and Moon, Sun does not rule Leo. It is ruled by the planet which I call as the, it is the Indra. So which is a planet which I call as planet Z.
Mm-hmm.
And Moon does not rule Cancer, but it is ruled by Chiron. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I use 12 planets. Okay, 12 planets to indicate these 12 zodiac signs.
Oh.
And this is based on all these, based on the last 20 years of research.
That's excellent. Means the study actually goes into the classical mythology, the amalgamation of the Greek and the Roman. Means
Yeah, and if you, in fact, if you look at it, it all started from India. Okay.
Correct.
So Parashar was the one who actually gave this idea. I mean, Parashar, of course, and then we're looking at, and every civilization had their own system of doing things. So the Greek had their own mythology where they're talking about Plutus, they're talking about Pluto, they're talking about Plutus being the lord of the underworld. They're talking about is a lord of wealth, Plutus, and Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So they had actually talked about these 2 planets already. They're talking about one being the lord of wealth and the one being the lord of the underworld. So they have a very clear-cut demarcation of the Pluto and the planet X, which I'm calling as planet X is the Plutus, which they say. So all of this started when I couldn't get my answer for a simple horoscope. For example, I'm talking about, let's say, Amitabh Bachchan. The Amitabh Bachchan's chart, if you have a look into it, by using traditional astrology, you can see that why he had that life-threatening accident. Mm-hmm. He has so many planets in the 8th house. He has Venus and Mars in the 8th house. And that is the reason he faced the accident. So that is also very clear. That's very clearly explained. Mm-hmm. If you look at, he went bankrupt once.
Correct.
Okay, he lost all his money. Mm-hmm. So his Sun and Mercury is also there in the 8th house, so because of which he became bankrupt. Right. Then he came back in a big way. Okay, so probably that is explained by the Sun, Mercury in the 8th house. So, we say that 8th house has done all of this. Mm-hmm. And he had umpteen health issues, which can be explained by Jupiter exalted in the 6th house. 6th house being the, the house of health. But now I had a very simple question. Why is he the great Amitabh Bachchan? Okay, so which is the planet which shows that he's the great Amitabh Bachchan? There is no answer to that. I in fact went to many astrologers. I met them personally. I don't want to name them here. Okay, I went to Delhi. I met some of the greatest astrologers, known astrologers in the country. I went to south of India. I went to Bangalore. I went to Chennai. But nobody gave me an answer as to why Mr. Bachchan is Mr. Bachchan. Mm-hmm. There must be some planet which makes him a great actor. So what is that planet? But nobody gave me an answer to that. You look at Amitabh Bachchan, you look at Mahatma Gandhi's chart. Okay, you can see that, okay, now he was a person who fought non-violence. Okay, so you can see the Venus and Mars in conjunction in the 1st house. Okay, so which makes him a person who is fighting non-violently. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can, his Sun is in the 12th house. So the reason why he went to a foreign country. Fine. But why did he become the Mahatma? Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a life which is it's almost like a it's almost like mythology. Right. 1,000 years down the line, people will always think almost think of him like a god. He gave freedom for a country. He's a huge figure. he's a figure who will be always there in India. I mean, forever. He's in every currency.
Correct.
I mean, he's a father of the nation. Yeah, he's a father of the nation. The man who died without any. I mean, all the other people who were there around this time, they have built their wealth. They have a dynasty running. But this man died without having a penny for his children. Nobody knows his children.
True.
He fought for the country selflessly. So he led a life which is extraordinary, historical, but nothing in the chart really explains his greatness. I mean, if you look at his chart, there is nothing which shows why he had such a great life. So, which means there are planets which are beyond our Saturn, which would explain this kind of a thing. So I was looking out for those planets. Then so when you start using Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, then you get better impact. Then you can actually see why these people saw whatever they saw. Okay, and if you also include these other planets that I'm talking about, the Uranus, the planet X, Y, and Z, then you will get a complete picture. Okay, so that is what probably I'm going to be talking about today.
Great. So I hope the viewers after this video they would not link these outer planets just to the Western astrology, and they would try to get into the research mode.
Yeah, I hope so, because I'm using the way of classifying, like, okay, this is Indian astrology and this is Western astrology. That actually that itself is a wrong concept. So how can you distinguish saying that okay, if you're using Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, that is Western astrology? I mean, that is not right, because Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, after you subtract the Ayanamsha and you use them in the normal chart, it gives excellent results. What you have to just do is add the planets by subtracting the Ayanamsha. That's it. And then I think you can, if you know exactly their exaltation points and what is their own house, you can get brilliant results.
Great. So starting from Linda Goodman till searching within and working with NASA, it was a long journey, and we have just tried to cover this in couple of slides in the PPT. Let's go ahead and let's try to go through these PPTs and see actually what it has. So the research that Greenie, or Lobo as people with love call him, he has given a name, True Astrology. He has also penned down a book whose the name of that book is Your True Zodiac Sign. Correct, Greenie, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah, it is called What is Your True Zodiac Sign?
What is your true zodiac sign?
Yeah.
So let's see actually from the researcher himself, from his mouth directly, what is there in this true astrology. So let's go ahead and give the stage and the mic to Greenstone.
Okay, great. So yeah, I wrote this book. What is your true zodiac sign? Because it's based on we in Western astrology they talk about zodiac signs. So they say the sun sign, being your zodiac sign. But then I realized, when I saw my chart, that it is not, a person's personality cannot be explained just by the sun sign, but you also need to include the Mercury sign and the moon sign, because the Mercury indicates the thinking, the thought processes, and the moon, because we give a lot of importance to moon in India, and the moon indicates your emotions. So the sun indicates the soul, the Mercury indicates the thinking, and the moon indicates the emotion. So all put together makes the psyche of a person. So this book actually talks about the combination. So I'm not talking about 12 zodiac signs, but I'm talking about 186 type of personalities. So this is based on the combination of the where you have a sun, Mercury, and moon. So for example, just to give an example, Salman Khan, okay, for example, is a Capricorn. Okay, he's born on 26th December, so he's supposed to be a Capricorn. Okay, now Capricorns are conservative. Capricorns settle down in a matrimony very quickly. Capricorns will never even open a top button of the shirt, Now, which of these traits match Salman Khan? Okay, so none of them, okay, because the reason is because he doesn't have any planet in Capricorn. He has his sun in Sagittarius, his Mercury is in Scorpio, his moon is in Aquarius. So the sun in Sagittarius makes him someone who's like, who acts instinctively. Okay, he doesn't think much, he just goes and acts. Scorpio makes him someone who's like, who can be vindictive, who can be aggressive. So we all know what has happened to people who has taken any kind of a panga with Salman Khan.
Salman Khan. Correct.
Yeah, and of course he also has a moon in Aquarius, which makes him a humanitarian. So his being human is not a facade. It's a true thing. It comes from his heart, and he really cares for people. So that's the other side to his personality. So my book talks about that. My book talks about 186 type of personalities, and I have split all the. I have divided about 2,000 personalities into these types, and I have explained the traits. Yeah, so that is the book all about. Yeah.
So it can be taken as an encyclopedia into personality management.
Oh wow, that will be a nice thing. I mean, that's a nice word, kind words you're using, Rohit, and thank you for that. I've done my sort of a bit in that. Yes.
Okay. So as already Greeny just explained that the 5 main planets and the 2 shadow planets doesn't make 12. So what actually Parashar?
Yes. Yeah, Rohit. Yeah.
So what actually did Parashar miss, the great Rishi Parashar miss something, or something that was missed while collecting the artifacts, or something which is lost in time, which Greeny has actually tried to recover it via his research, starting from Linda Goodman till NASA. So we'll just cover those things in this slide, and I hope there's a new sunshine, that there's a new sun with a great rays, the 8th ray of sun that would come today via this Saptarishi astrology channel. So, Greeny, we have the slide.
Yes, so correct. So the slide talks about, we're talking about these planets, so traditionally we associate, as I said, sun and moon to the Leo and Cancer. But if you see, the sun and moon are actually not planets, they are luminaries. So I don't associate them with any of the zodiac signs. So Pan Horus, is the planet which is the name which was given by Linda Goodman to the true ruler of Taurus. She said about that. She talked about that. And also Plutus is called as the planet which rules wealth in Greek astrology. So Planet X is that planet. Planet X, I feel, is a true ruler of Taurus. So ye Rishabh Rashi jo hai, that is ruled by Planet X. So it is not ruled by Venus. Mm-hmm. Venus rules only Libra. Okay, so this is according to my research. And Virgo is not ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules only Mithun. Mercury rules only Gemini. And planet Y is the planet which rules Virgo. Mm-hmm. And then I'm talking about planet Z. Okay, now this planet Z is the one which rules Leo. And, this is what is the Indra, which was talked about by Parashar. And is a true ruler of Leo. And Sun is not the ruler of Leo. And Moon similarly is not the ruler of Cancer, but Chiron is the ruler of Cancer. Okay, so this is what is my theory. Okay, so this is what I theorize, and I'm actually writing a book on this. And this book will be published in about 6 months to 6 to 9 months from now. So this book will contain all of these theories that I'm talking about.
Oh, so but if we check the classics, like Parashara, he mentioned regarding the Aprakash Grays, the non-luminaries.
Correct.
And there also he has named these 5 starting from Dhoom, Vyatipat, Parivesh, Indrachap and Upketu. And in your research, you also have these 5 extra luminaries or non-luminaries that you have actually clubbed under the missing links of Pan, Horus, Planet X, Y, Z and Chiron. So
yes, exactly. That is exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, that is exactly. So even in those Parashar has talked about these planets. So this is not something new. So Parashar has actually talked about. If you look carefully, even in one of the paragraphs, he's talked about Indra, Prajapati, Kuber. Then he's talking about Pluto. Yama. Yeah, he's talked about all of this.
Correct.
Yeah, yes. So the seer actually could see all of them, so only the thing is, we people missed him. I mean, we people didn't include all of that which Parashar has talked about. So it is our mistake, it is not Parashar's mistake. So he has talked about all of them, we didn't include them, so we didn't do a research on them. Yes.
Yeah, the main essence of etymology, I think, is missing nowadays. So
True. Yeah, true.
okay, so let's go ahead. What do we have? So what actually true stands for? You might have given a lot of thought before actually coining this term true. So what's the story behind this, giving this name true to this branch of study that you are doing?
Yeah, so the point is, I mean, this astrology, I mean, many a times, okay, very interesting thing. I mean, I don't know if people realize this. I'm a born Catholic. Okay, so when I say I'm a Catholic, people are like surprised as to, oh, you're Catholic and doing astrology. So now, it's something which people don't understand, that astrology has got nothing to do with religion. Okay,
Sure.
so it is a science. It is a science, and it works. So when I'm talking about true, so I used all of these things. So when I'm talking about so this is total. So when I'm include all of these planets, we're talking about Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, all of them. So it is total. And when I'm using, I mean, this is for the word replicable. See, this is something which can be replicated by any person if you understand exactly how Chiron is working, where is Chiron exalted, or where is Uranus exalted, and what is the deepest exaltation of Uranus or a Pluto. If you know that, and if you use it, you will see that it can be actually replicated. So it is not that mujhe koi siddhi aa gaya hai, suddenly I got some gyan from I did meditation and then suddenly I became very knowledgeable. It's not like that. It's something which comes with hard work. You need to put in a lot of efforts, and you can actually replicate this study. And then I'm talking about it being universal. You don't need to be following a religion. Okay, you don't need to be in a particular part of the country or the world that you need to practice it. And finally, it is easy to use. So that's the reason I'm calling it as true astrology.
So, but seeing this couple of slides and speaking with you since last 30 minutes, I can say that this is not so easy. It could be for you because you are sleeping with it since last 20 years. So as said by Greeny, T is for the totality, encapsulating all the missing links that are there, even mentioned by Parashar. R is replicable. You need not be enlightened to actually have this knowledge. It's the research, and you can replicate things in your study also. U is universal. It is accepted. You can apply it anywhere. It's not that it will only work in one part of India and the rest part it won't work. And E is easy. Actually, it is difficult. But I read E as D at this current moment, but it could be easy once we complete this PPT. So go ahead.
Yeah. I'll try and sort of do it. So probably we can quickly go through these slides quickly, and then probably we can go to the charts, and there it'll probably make more sense. I don't maybe because we're already through half an hour, so I would want to
Okay. So the basic of astrology is, as it's always,
it's based on karma and past life. So yeah,
karma and past life, and
yes.
We'll directly go into the planets and as viewed by Greenstone. Let's see. Starting with Mercury.
Everyone knows about Mercury, so I don't need to talk about Mercury, what it does. So we'll just go to the next slide probably. So Mercury is the god of travel and commerce, and everyone knows that. So so it stands for everything. So we'll go to the next one.
So second, the planet is the
Venus. Yes, everyone knows about that. Venus is the planet which stands for love, for beauty, for charm, for grace, arts, creativity. Yes, it's a great planet. Yes. Okay, the next one.
The next one is our own Mars.
Yes, Mars is the planet of raw energy. Okay, the planet of action. It is the planet of drive. It's a planet of sexual energy. So it's a very important planet. Yes.
So I'll just hold on this Mars for a moment. Since you have a proper researchical mind, and it doesn't go with what's actually written. you go deep into understanding what is actually behind the shlokas or what is given by the sages. So there is a term which is, you can say, a kind of a demonic term, that is the Mangal Dosh, which is there. So
Yes.
what exactly does your research shows? Why it is connected with Mars? And just in brief, and we'll go ahead.
Yeah, I think Mars really plays a very important role because Mars is the planet of relationship and Venus is the planet of love. So when Mars or Venus or when Mars and Venus are in conjunction, it creates a huge power. It can be positive, it can be negative. I mean, many a times it is actually connected to only a relationship, which is a wrong thing. In fact, Mars and Venus actually, when it is placed in a sports person's horoscope, it can be fantastic. For example, if you're looking at VVS Lakshman, we talk about the silken drive of VVS Lakshman. So that silk comes from Venus, and the drive comes from Mars. So the combination, makes him do the silken drive.
Okay.
Or the aggressive, ferocious sorts of Virendra Sehwag also comes from the combination of conjunction of Mars and Venus. So it is very good for people who are into sports, who are into dance, or any kind of an activity where there is a energy and artistic creativity comes together.
Mm-hmm.
So even for painters, authors, and all that, this is a very good combination. But Mars and Venus, when it is placed in a normal person's chart, it's a normal housewife, homemaker. If it is going to be there in the 7th house, because 7th house is the house of marriage. So if it is going to be a conjunction of Mars and Venus in the 7th, it is very bad. It can be really bad. In fact, just Mars in the 8th house can be extremely bad. So it is there. Mars does impact relationships. Yes, it does impact relationships. There's no question about
that. Mars being the raw energy. So how it is shaped depend upon its relationship and its position.
Correct. The 8th house is the house of, it rules many things. One of the things that it rules is the death. Correct. So when you have Mars in the 8th house, then your relationship can go for a toss. Your relationship it may not necessarily mean that your person whom you are in love with is going to die, but it can mean that the relationship can die. The relationship can go through a lot of deaths. So sometimes you'll see a lady who has a Mars in the 8th house can actually go through multiple relationships. One relationship dies and the other relationship happens, and then again it ends. So it can become a sort of a vicious cycle. So Mars and Venus actually are very important for discussing relationship. And Mangal Dosh is something which is, and you need to know exactly what it constitutes Mangal Dosh. And if you know to do it rightly, then it does show the challenges. It does show.
So I think I'll keep this point open for our future videos. Okay. So sure. We'll go ahead and something on our Guru, the Jupiter.
Jupiter is an amazing planet. It's a fantastic planet. It is the planet of, actually the Guru is the planet of Guru, the teachers. So any person who has a Jupiter which is very powerfully placed can see, can become something like a subject matter expert. So someone who's like a teacher, someone who's like a guru, someone who's like a intellectual person. It also stands for higher education, institutions of education and stuff. So it's a planet of knowledge. And very importantly, Jupiter can also show travels. And even the 9th house, of course, shows travels, but Jupiter, very, very importantly, can show travels. And it is a very important planet again, yes.
And it is said to be the Jeev Karak.
It's said to be the?
Jeev Karak.
Yeah, okay. So Jeev Karak, so I'm not very sure about that, but yeah, it's a very important planet for sure. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead.
Maybe some terminologies I may not be knowing, because I don't use it very predominantly. Is Saturn, Shani, I think it is the most maligned planet in India. Right. Unfortunately, I mean, सारे के सारे प्रॉब्लम, जितने भी प्रॉब्लम जिंदगी में होता है, वो सारे के सारे दोष इनको दिया जाता है, which is so sad, which is so bad. In fact, Shani, when it is exalted in your chart, it can make somebody a king. It can make somebody a rich person. It can give wealth. It can give properties. It can give beautiful careers. It can give longevity. So for everything and anything that goes wrong in a person's life, you always put all the fault on Shani, which I think is wrong. So Shani is an important planet, but it's need not necessarily give you all the problems.
It depends what you are doing. He'll give you according to that. He's said to be the Karmadipati.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. Karmadipati. Yes, it does indicate your career. It does indicate your in many ways it does.
As the psychology goes, if suppose something is failing in our life, we need someone to blame. So in astrology, it's Saturn who is getting the bad name.
Yeah, that's so bad. That's so sad actually, because Saturn, there are more miscreants than Saturn whom we are going to talk about right now. Yeah.
Oh, great. So let's go ahead.
Yeah.
So we have our first hidden planet. That's the Chiron.
Okay. That's a Chiron. Okay, now this is where my research comes in. Okay, see, these set of planets. Okay, the Chiron, the Planet X, the Planet Y, and Planet Z. These 4 planets are actually they have an orbital path between Uranus and Neptune. Okay, so now these planets are far away and they stay in a zodiac sign for about anywhere between 4 to 6 years. 4 to 6 years for approximately. And the first one is Chiron, and it's a very, very strong planet. And very surprisingly, I have seen that this planet exhibits every trait which is connected with land. It is connected with the son of the soil. It is connected with children. It is connected with the mother. It is connected with anything to do with vehicles and wealth and all that. So it's amazing. It's really, really amazing. You should use Chiron and see. It is the true ruler of Cancer, and it gets exalted in Aries. So you need to use this planet. You will find it amazing. This planet can give you fabulous results. This is the ruler of Cancer, and it gets exalted in Aries. So please do use it. I mean, to all the viewers who are seeing this, I would say, do use Chiron, because Chiron's, many softwares actually show Chiron, and you can actually use them, and they give fantastic results. You need to see that.
Greeny, as the picture depicts, Chiron seems to be from the group of centaurs.
That's exactly right. Yes, you're right. So they're called the centaurs. So all of these planets are called a centaur. I mean, these bodies are called a centaur. So so Chiron, X, Y, and Z, all of them are centaurs.
Oh.
So they have an orbital path between Uranus and Neptune.
Okay, so do they have some specific, because if we see our normal zodiac, even Sagittarius is termed under the group of centaurs.
Sagittarius is called as a centaur, yeah, but that is the zodiac sign. The only that zodiac sign is depicted as a centaur. Okay, so that is only for that zodiac sign. Okay. But these 4 bodies are actually called as centaurs because they are moving towards. These are the ones which are between Uranus and Neptune, which means they are trans-Uranian planets. So because of one group to the other, they are transforming, and that's the reason they are called as the centaurs, because they have characteristics of both. This is a I would say astronomical term. Mm-hmm. So we can't debate on that, But astronomers give names based on the position of the planet, the size of the planet. But astrologers, as an astrologer, we need to give them names based on their impact and their effectiveness. Mm-hmm. So we need not worry about what they're called, but we need to look into what they do actually. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of things.
Just for the viewers, centaurs are mythological figures where they are shown as having half body of an horse and half of a human. So as we can see that Chiron is also shown as the same figure, and our rest of the planets also come in the category of centaurs, as just Greeny explained us. So, but there's one more interesting thing as per what I was studying, that in Greek mythology, Chiron is also said to be a term which actually decodes to hands.
The hands?
Yes. So...
okay. Oh, no, I'm not aware of that. Okay, so the hands, I'm not very sure about that. Okay, fine. But many astrologers actually connect Chiron to the zodiac sign Virgo. Okay. Where I did a lot of research, but I found that Chiron actually doesn't correspond to or resonate to Virgo, but it does resonate to Cancer. So that is my research. So there is some debate in this, but I would stick to Cancer. Okay. Just to give an example of a chart, if I'm going to give an example, Bala Saheb Thackeray, okay, has Chiron exalted in the 8th house. Okay. And if you see, he was a fighter for the son of the soil.
Mhm.
Okay, so he was fighting for the the natives of his estate, and he was like a revolutionary for them. He was a messiah for them, and he was fighting for them. So the son of the soil agenda is shown by the Chiron because it rules the Cancer, and it being exalted in the 8th house of Aries. It made him being a some sort of a leader who was fighting for that cause. So I mean, this is one example. I can give you many more examples of Chiron. How it works. Yeah.
Now, as just you picked up this example of Balasaheb Thackeray, so he's famous for his posture of the index finger pointing. So,
Okay.
so the Greek terminology of Chiron connected with hands. So,
Oh wow.
this could be a connection which you can just, or our viewers.
Maybe yes, Rohit. That is something new which I learned from you. So I think I'll probably put some see some more on that. I'll try and see that. Wow, that's a nice revelation. Good.
Okay. So we'll go ahead. Let's see what we have. Now we have the planet Z. That's the Cupid. So in before Greeny goes ahead in our classical, we have Kamdev, right?
Yes. Yep. Yes.
To be Cupid. Okay.
Correct. So Kamdev is the is the one we are talking about, and that is Cupid. And this is an amazing planet. This is a very strong planet. This is the ruler of Leo. If you see the zodiac sign Leo people, I mean, they are extremely romantic. Okay, and they are people who want huge successes. They are not very happy with small things in life, and they want to be famous. And some of them, like they advise. They love advising people, and they love all the pleasures of the world, and all of that is connected to karma. Okay, and all of that is, of course, can be connected to Cupid. And this planet Z is extremely powerful. It is a true ruler of Leo, and and it gets exalted in Libra. So I mean, it's a fabulous planet. If you use the planet, you can explain the horoscope of Lata Mangeshkar. You can explain the horoscope of Kishore Kumar. You can explain the horoscope of great actors. Everyone from Shivaji Ganeshan. I mean, all of those people who are there born in the 1920s. Madhubala to Meena Kumari to all of those actors, all of those people who were born in the 1920s and 30s, Sunil Dutt and all of them, you can explain only through these planets. And even people who are born in the 80s. So if you're looking at a Virat Kohli, for example, Virat Kohli has this planet extremely powerfully placed in this chart. And that gives him colossal successes. It makes him a great guy. So even Deepika Padukone and all of those people who are ruling the industry these days, they all have planet Z strong, extremely strongly placed in the chart, because it gets exalted in Libra, and this was between 85 to 89. Okay, when planet Z was exalted.
Great. So while you were just throwing some sharing some knowledge on Mars, you said that the artists and the sports person having Mars and Venus conjunction, they give great success. So what as per Greek mythology says that Cupid is the son to Mars and Venus, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. That's true. I mean, I'm not an expert on Greek mythology, but yeah, if I remember correctly, that's what you're saying is right. Yeah, you know much better. It's about Greek mythology.
See,
yeah.
we actually can connect things. Just a couple of slides back, you were just showing the same example of the silken drive of VVS Lakshman with Venus and Mars, and in Cupid, the same thing is coming up. And in Greek mythology, it is said that he's the son to Mars and Venus.
That's true. Yeah.
So all the pointers are actually there. It's the etymological thing that we need to actually understand where to connect the points. Great. Please go ahead, Rini, with Cupid. Okay, we'll go ahead with Cupid.
Yeah. So I think we have done with Cupid. So Cupid is extremely powerful. It is It is there in Hrithik Roshan's 10th house, so that is what made Hrithik Roshan great dancer. Okay, so I mean it's a fabulous planet for sure. Yeah. So
Just just
yeah,
for just for viewers' sake, what does this 2008 FC76 stand for? Is this the astronomical name that is given to Cupid?
that's correct. That's correct. So that is the astronomical name. That is what is. These are unnamed asteroids. So these, unnamed centaurs. So they call it as, they have given this name to this body. Yes, that is the name which is given to this planet.
Cupid. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and we'll just
Yes.
check on Plutus or Pan-Horus.
Yeah. So Plutus or Pan-Horus. Okay. So now that is this. I think is the probably the most powerful planet that you can ever think of. So this one, I mean, this planet is really amazing. This is the true ruler of Taurus. This planet is the true ruler of wealth. This planet is the god of wealth. Okay, this is an amazing, amazing planet. And this planet gets exalted. It gets deep exalted in Aquarius. And Amitabh Bachchan has this planet exalted in the first house.
Oh,
Okay, and that is the reason he is the Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, so yeah, and this happens once in 60 years. So once in 60 years, and Amitabh Bachchan is born. So this is an amazing planet, and a very interesting thing about this planet is that this planet gets exalted multiple times. Okay, and except for Scorpio and Leo, where it is either in a fall or in debilitation, all the other houses, wherever it stays, this planet gives its impact. It is very strong in each and every horoscope. So in every house, in every zodiac sign, it is very strong. So this is an extremely powerful planet, and this is the planet that makes the world run. This is the planet of money.
oh, that's
So if you look at every rich person in the world, I mean, if you look at the richest man in the world is Bill Gates. Now Bill Gates has this Pan-Horus or a Planet X. It is there in the 11th house.
Oh,
And we know that 11th house is nothing but Labastan,
yes.
right? So he has it there. Okay. If you look at our Dhirubhai Ambani has it in the second house.
Again.
Yeah, again he has it in the second house. Okay, in planet, and if you look at Warren Buffett, he has it in the 11th house. Okay, so and this planet, if it is placed in the 7th house, it is extremely powerful. You'll be surprised. Many of the world's greatest people are born. I mean, all the political leaders are born with Plutus or this planet X in the 7th house, including our own Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. Okay, so Mr. Modi has planet X in the 7th house. And that is exactly the reason why, even before he was elected, about 6 months before the election, I had predicted that he will be the Prime Minister. In fact, you will see that even if you're looking at Bill Clinton, he had planet X in 7th house. You look at, even, I had actually done a research on all the American presidents. About 50 to 60% of American presidents have planet X in the 7th house.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's something really interesting. And so everyone from, the president who had the highest number of presidencies, okay, I'm just not able to recollect the name immediately, but, from him to, so many American presidents, they all have the planet X in the 7th house. Oh. And 7th house is, as you know, it is also the house of public life.
Correct.
So I'm telling you a very interesting thing. Even Hitler had planet X in the 7th house. Okay. Now, Hitler has planet X in the 7th house, but he also had Mars and Venus in the 7th house. Okay. And it is his 8th lord. So he has a Libra ascendant. Mm-hmm. So Hitler has the 8th lord planet X in the 7th house, which means he created terror on public.
Correct.
Okay, because 8th house indicates terror and 7th house indicates public, and that is where he has planet X. So he created terror on public, and that was and because it was Pan Horus or Planet X, the impact was on millions of people. And there was also Mars and Venus in 7th, because of which he created that mass, death. He created genocide, on
Correct.
millions of Jews. So this Planet X is so important. It is extremely powerful.
Excellent. That's a great research and something new that has come up. So good. And it is said to be the god of wealth. And I think from this term, from here only, like in the Roman, there is a saying with Plutus that Plutus goes faster than it comes. So,
Yeah. So if the money goes away, yeah.
Correct. Could be from
Yeah.
there the term has been connected with wealth, that you will take ages to actually accumulate wealth, but when it goes in just a wink.
Absolutely. That is very true. You're right in saying that. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
So
true.
we'll go ahead and we'll just check on the Vulcan, the great worker, right?
Yes. Vulcan. And Vulcan is a planet Y, and this is the planet of hard work, precision, efficiency, meticulousness. It is called as the god of metalworking. Okay, in Greek mythology.
Okay.
And this is the planet which actually is a true ruler of Virgo. Okay, so I consider, if you see, there is a very clear cut distinction between the Geminis and the Virgos.
Mm-hmm.
The Geminians are extremely intelligence oriented, thinking oriented, thought process oriented. But Virgos are completely hardworking. They're very precise. They're very meticulous, very detail oriented. So they are very two different kind of people. So having both the zodiac sign ruled by the same planet, which is Mercury, seems like an anomaly. Okay, and I was like doing a lot of research on this, and finally I came across Planet Y, and I have assigned this planet to that. And this planet gets exalted in Virgo. Sorry, it gets exalted in Gemini. Very interestingly. Okay. And you will see that MS Dhoni has this planet in exaltation in the first house. Okay. And he tells a very, very interesting thing. He says that every time, the only thing that keeps revolving in my head is numbers. Mm-hmm. Okay. I keep thinking, okay, in this over, what am I supposed to do? In this over, what am I supposed to do? So that meticulousness, the number orientedness actually comes from this planet Y, because he has it exalted in the first house. So, I mean, there are many more examples which you can give. And people who were born between 1977 to 1981, so they have this planet in Gemini. So depending upon which house it is, I mean, if they are a Virgo ascendant, then it is the ascendant lord exalted in the 10th house. So this planet is very powerful, and it can be good or bad depending upon which house it is placed.
Oh, so it gives a lot of discipline, it seems.
Absolutely. Discipline, hardworking, meticulousness, perfectionism, all of that is given by Planet Y.
So we can have, I think the Vulcan would be good, nicely placed in the charts of army persons.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe like it's like. I mean, they're actually doing I mean, besides hard work, they are working. They are in the combat mode. They are in a fighting mode. So maybe like they will have maybe even Mars connected, or they may have Pluto connected, because they can even be like fighting against enemies, and they may be involved in wars. So that is a different kind of a perfectionism or a discipline. Mm-hmm. In Vulcan's case, we're talking about doing the same thing again and again and again. So someone like Anil Kumble, for example, he has a very strong Vulcan. If you look at someone like Ravichandran Ashwin, for example, he has a Vulcan, which is planet wise extremely strongly placed in his chart. So all those spinners, the bowlers, I mean, people who do the same thing again and again and again. I mean, even someone like people who are like the software engineers, because they keep doing the same meticulous thing perfectly again and again. People who work very hard. I mean, like people who have to work sometimes 6 hours, 10 hours a day. In fact, most of the mathematicians, most of the accountants, people who have anything to do with finance, people who have anything to do with banking, they all have Vulcan very strong, a planet by very strong.
It means they keep on repeating the same thing. So can this OCD, the obsessive compulsive disorder, be connected with Vulcan?
Absolutely, it can be, yes. So if it is very badly placed, if it is there in the 8th house or in the third house, or in the 12th house, then there can be OCD. Yes, you're right in saying that. Yes.
That's great. And I think I'm not able to remember whether it is the Roman mythology or the Latin, but Vulcan is said to be the god of nature.
Yes, you're right. You're right. It is the Greek mythology. That's right. That's true. They call it as a, the god of nature. The god. It is. It is. They say that Vulcan has a green thumb.
Uh-huh.
So yes, so it gives greenery. It gives freshness.
Correct.
So it's like, people with. They say that the Virgo people can nurture things. So they can just keep it. Like they can meticulously, perfectly keep on nurturing things and make it grow into something really big. So even the chartered accountants, for example, they'll tell you exactly where to put the money, where not to put the money, so that you can grow your money.
Mm-hmm.
All those fund managers, people who manage other people's money and all that, they all have something to do with the planet Y.
Great. So I think Vulcan should be taken into a lot of consideration while matchmaking.
Yes, definitely it has to be. Vulcan plays an extremely important role, because if Vulcan is not well placed, it can definitely do a lot of damage in the marital aspect. Yes, it can. True. That's very true. Very true. Absolutely.
Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll check on our known, something which we have heard, the Uranus.
Yeah, Uranus is like a phenomenal planet. Uranus is a planet of changes. Okay, Uranus is a planet of change. Uranus is a planet of surprises. It's a planet of rebellion. It is a planet of the unorthodox. This planet is the one which is responsible for all the revolutionaries. If you look at Subhash Chandra Bose's chart, why Netaji was such an amazing person, you can only know when you include Uranus.
Okay.
Uranus was in exaltation in his 8th house. Okay.
Oh.
Now, he was a revolutionary. So now Uranus gets exalted. Okay, now exaltation point is something which is something, again, many astrologers have various viewpoints, but generally it is accepted that Uranus gets exalted in Scorpio. So Netaji has Aries ascendant, and he has got Uranus exalted in the 8th house, and that is simply the reason why he became a revolutionary. Okay, and in fact, we all know that Netaji's death is a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And where he died, how he died, nobody knows. Sometimes people are saying that he was alive. So the point is, his death being a mystery itself is because of the Uranus exalted in the 8th house. So 8th house is the house of death, and 8th house is also the house of mysteries. 8th house is also the house of revolutions. So everything happened to Netaji.
And Uranus surprises, as the slide shows, that surprises are connected with Uranus. So anything can come up.
Absolutely. And Uranus, these days, Uranus is the planet of technology.
Correct.
Anything which is new. So anything which is innovative. So we're talking about technology, we're talking about computers, we're talking about internet. So we are doing this telecast, where you're sitting in one place. Rohit is sitting in one place, I'm sitting in another place, and we're talking via this medium, this Facebook, everything, whatever we're talking about, this modern technology is all thanks to Uranus. Uranus is the planet of invention. If Uranus is there, we all change. Otherwise, we would have been living still as cavemen.
Oh, okay. So let's thank Uranus, and let's go ahead and see what we have. We have Neptune now, the god of the seas.
Yeah, and this is Maya. Okay, this is called by Parashar is called as the Varuna. Okay, and this is very interesting planet. This planet can is like magic. Okay, this planet can this actually rules the zodiacs and Pisces. This is the planet of magic. This planet can create something like a mythological. It can create something really, really magical, something which is a make-believe thing. It can make it come true. For example, if I'm going to give an example, Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal was created by Shah Jahan, who has Neptune in deepest exaltation. Okay, now Neptune gets exalted in Cancer in about 24 degrees, and Shah Jahan had it in somewhere around 25 degrees.
Oh.
So he created this Taj Mahal, which is like if you look at Taj Mahal, it looks like magic.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you can't know that it's something real. It's something very, very mythical about it. So Neptune gives that kind of a, something which is very, very amazing, something magical. And if you look at, and we're looking at the first set of superstars, Devanand and Dilip Kumar, both of them have Neptune in strongest position in the charts. Even N.T. Ramarao is born in 1923. He also has that kind of a planet. I mean, people say that, Devanand had this kind of an aura where women used to faint looking at him.
Correct.
And that kind of a magic, comes because of Neptune, because he had Neptune in deepest exaltation. And N.T. Ramarao was the, he used to play God. He used to play Rama. He used to play the gods. And people used to consider him as God, and they used to fall on his feet. That is a kind of a magic that he created on celluloid. So that is the magic that Neptune can create. It's a beautiful, it's an amazing planet which cannot be expressed in words. The kind of a magic it can create.
So it can, Neptune actually, if we see, it creates the godly impact on the crowd.
Absolutely, you're right. Absolutely true. It can enthrall people. People can be like touched by this planet. I mean, people will feel wow, with this planet. These people can have an extraordinary impact on the masses.
Mm-hmm. And that could be the reason why the symbol of this is the Trishul.
Yes, very true. You're right. Absolutely right. Yeah, Rohit, you're looking at all the minor points, which is very amazing. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let's talk about Pluto.
Yeah, this is Yama. He's the truth. All the other gods are okay, but Yama is the truth in life. In fact, he comes by the end of the life. And this is amazing. This is the planet of death. So this is the planet which rules the 8th house. This is a planet which is the true ruler of Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Scorpio is called as the underworld, the lord of the underworld. Scorpio is the zodiac sign of the underworld. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, and Pluto is the lord of death, murder, sex, everything which is negative. All those things we can think of is all connected to Pluto. But even Pluto also indicates the transformation, the revolution, and the regeneration is indicated by Pluto. Pluto is the planet of death, but it is also the planet of creation. So it's an extraordinary planet. So Pluto has such an impact on people. It can make somebody a nobody. It can make a prime minister. It can. इसको बोलते ना वो जर्रे को भी खुदा बना दे.
It touches the soil and it turns into gold.
Absolutely. So that is what Pluto can do. Pluto can transform a chai wala into a prime minister. Pluto can make a bus conductor into a superstar.
Yeah.
Yes. So both Rajnikant and our prime minister, both of them are born in the same year, 1950. And Pluto was in exaltation. It just came into exaltation in 1949. Okay. And it came into exaltation after 300 years. So a Rajnikant and a Narendra Modi, they are born once in 300 years. So they have that kind of a chart. And Rajnikant has it in the first house. So in the first house of the first house of personality, Rajnikant has Pluto in exaltation. That is what makes him a great mass actor. And Narendra Modi, he has it in the 11th house. In the 11th house, it rules the second half of life. So in the 7th house, Mr. Modi has the planet X in exaltation, which makes him a great influential leader on the masses. And the Pluto, which gets exalted in the 11th house, has actually made him more and more successful in his 50s and 60s. So he was the chief minister of Gujarat for a long time. Then he became the prime minister of the country. So this planet is the one that makes him, very successful in the later years. So Pluto, one important thing, very interesting thing about Pluto is that Pluto was in the deepest exaltation in 1965. And you know what? I'll tell you, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Amir Khan, okay, all the three Khans, if you look into their charts, if you tell any astrologer, if you don't tell the astrologer that this chart belongs to Shah Rukh Khan, and no astrologer will be able to make the kind of will be able to explain the kind of a greatness that the Shah Rukh Khan has. Okay, you just put Pluto in the ascendant. Shah Rukh Khan has Pluto in the ascendant.
Oh.
Yeah, and it is there in 24 degrees, which is exactly the deepest exaltation point, and Shah Rukh Khan has it exactly on 24 degrees. And this was after 300 years. So once in 300 years, this planet comes into this position, and that is when Shah Rukh Khan was born. And he's called as the king of Bollywood, and for no reason, It is not for any reason that he's called the king of Bollywood, because if you would have born in the previous birth, probably you would have been a king, Before 300 years, he would have been a king. Now he's born, and he's now the king of Bollywood. Salman Khan has it in the fifth house. Fifth house is the house of, acting and, all those, anything which is connected with arts and creativity and media. So he has it in the 10th house, in the fifth house, and Amir Khan has it in the, the 10th house planet. So that is the reason he's an actor. So all the three Khans, they have Pluto in deep exaltation.
That's really interesting. And the other point, it said that that there are two major terms that are actually used. That is the Yamraj and the Dharmaraj. So it is said that Saturn is the Dharmaraj. If suppose he is the Dharmaraj, so how can he be the Yamraj? So I think it's the Pluto actually who is the Yamraj, and the Dharmaraj or the Karmadipati goes with Saturn.
Yes, sir, absolutely. That is a very valid point, Rohit, you're saying, because only then, both of them have very distinctly different roles.
Correct.
So while Shani is all about giving you the right career, giving you the just, he's the god of justice. So, the Dharma Raja, he's the Dharma Raja, he gives you the justice. And Pluto is the one who will punish you. Okay, and Pluto is the Yamaraj. Pluto is the ultimate truth. He will come and take you away. So he has a different role to play. So both of them are different in their own way.
Excellent. Excellent.